Okay, welcome to the show, the FootyCast, live from BackChat Studios. We're in the main studio today. We are on the move this week, so apologies if there's any visual or audio or technical issues. Should be fine though, Skeeter. I don't think we're flying Jetstar anymore, mate. Welcome, Mark Reddings. How are you, mate?
Thank you, Scully. Yes, we're here. We've reached, well, not quite. Well, I thought we'd reached the finals, but we've still got a game on Wednesday that you and I got to cover. So, but the Dockers are definitely there.
They are, mate. How's your day yesterday? Well,
Good.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, good one. Look, I was just minding my own business, actually working hard, like I usually do, and you do as well. You can never fault your work rate because you're a bloody hard worker. I know you did a lot of games. How many games did you do over the weekend? Thursday,
Friday, Saturday night at Optus.
Did you do waffle as well?
No, you do waffle.
Just the three.
Just the three.
Far out, you work hard. Well, anyway, after a hard-working week, I'm sure just a couple of bourbons tipped down because I know you've tipped a couple down when again, just minding my own business on a Sunday, I don't even know what I was doing. Just lying on the couch. I was so exhausted from working so hard. I see your name start popping up on X. And I just know you don't do that just sitting at home by yourself. So some numpties jumped on and
he's potted.
He's potted JL. He's put a picture up of JL, just an innocent photo of JL sitting in his box, minding his own business, just like me on the couch. And I start getting accosted by you. Old mate goes, the look of a man who is watching his coaching career slip away. So this is obviously in the first quarter in the Freo game. They were under the pump. They were getting absolutely smashed. Mind you, at the same time, I tweeted, Freo win this game. Bulldogs are butchering this. That's fine. You tweet back to old mate, as opposed to your career, which is...
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I let myself down, didn't I? I shouldn't. I just taking shots at. Anyway, I was meant to defend him.
Don't take a leaf out of my book because I can cop it. You can't because he then comes back. I make a squillion trading crypto and betting on MLB games. You go. Sorry, Elon. Sorry, Elon. Oh, far out.
I should ban myself. I just,
mate, you can't help yourself. Like, this is what I feel like sober. No. I agree with you, mate. I feel like you do when you've had a couple of bourbons. I feel like that sober. I can't help myself when I see idiots, right? And I called the game yesterday. Yeah. I spent at least a quarter half watching the game. I'm calling the game. Half watching, but most of my energy directed at fighting people on Twitter.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, because...
But do you enjoy it?
I can't help myself.
No, you're good at it. You and others that I know are better at doing it than I am.
Well, idiots coming at me, yapping off, oh, yeah, you're fucking Freo this, Freo that. And I just thought I'd remind most of them that they're all idiots. And some numpty was going at me because of Oscar Allen, and I had a crack at the footy club over that. We've got plenty of big issues to get into, but that just really made my bloody weekend.
I'm banning myself.
No.
Oh, don't you reckon continue?
Yes, the people love it. There's plenty of Shuttle FootyCast people on there.
But the bloke, his name's out breezy. I mean, seriously, you can get yourself just show us who you are.
Yeah, correct.
Then you know what? That's fine. And have an opinion. Yeah, and then... yeah, but
you didn't have any other action on there?
No. I certainly did. I don't like engaging, having fights. I'll leave that to you. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I apologise. I publicly apologise.
Shoulder FootyCast live from BackChat Studios. Let's get into it, Skater. There's a fair bit going on. Of course, the Frothtown was over the weekend. Hopefully lots of our listeners got down there and enjoyed the festivities down at Frothtown. I heard it was a great weekend. Let's get into... some issues, Skeeter. Of course, our partners on Monday, MSH, your partner for mining and construction and remote projects. You want big equipment, go and see MSH and the team. Adam will look after you. mshph.com.au, as well as Heyscape. If you want a little stay, Father's Day is on the way. I would go and contact Heyscape. I had a couple of people yesterday actually booking things. So we do appreciate when you look after our sponsors because they look after us. Skeeter, I'm going to start with, I think, the biggest moment of the round. Thanks to MSH. The big moments need big equipment, and if you need big equipment, get in touch with MSH. I think the biggest moment, yes, Freo made finals, and we're going to absolutely get into that because not only have I been saying it all last week, I've been all over Freo, Skeeter, as you know.
You've been big on them.
And I'm bloody right, and I like reminding people that. However, we're going to touch on that in a second. The captain of the West Coast Eagles has confirmed that he wants out of the club. On Friday, met with the coaching staff as well as the list manager, and Oscar Allen has told the Eagles he wants to join the Lions. That is confirmed. It's been rumoured for a number of months, but it is official now. How do you see this one, Skeeter?
Is this in the category of worst kept secrets?
Yes.
Is that,
it's not news that he's leaving. It's news that he's told him.
Yes, and look, I'm sure the club's been preparing for this for some time, and now the question is, from a compensatory point of view, are they in line for pick 1, obviously, and pick 2 now, and then that's the benchmark for what they have going forward. Look, you know Oscar a lot better than myself. He'll cop a lot of criticism. Not too many captains leave a footy club while they're still captain.
Well, I would say there hasn't been too many clubs in the last, I can't remember when, in a 12-month span, the vice-captain and captain have left. Tom Barras left last year, and within 12 months, the captains left as well.
I think, didn't Lee Colbert go from North to Geelong as captain? So, yeah, but they're few and far between.
Chris Judd from West Coast to Carlton.
Yes, he was captain. Yeah, so it can happen, but yeah, it's the thing is he hasn't been playing essentially for the back half of the year, so it's not as jarring if you know where I'm coming from. So look, it's big news. I wish Oscar all the very best. He's going to a pretty good club, Brisbane, because they've got a very good young side and they're still contending. So if he can get his body right, that's great. And the Eagles obviously have to try and find the right compensation to get a decent look at the draft.
I won't shy away from this. I'm pretty close to Oscar, one of my good mates. Played a lot of footy with him. Think he's a brilliant leader and a good man. I think it's bigger than just good luck to him and all the best. I got to be honest. I think Oscar would have stayed if West Coast could have put together some sort of deal. Now, clearly West Coast don't want him, and that's okay. West Coast not wanting him because of his body, I think
it's his health as opposed to his footy.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's 100% that. I don't think they're saying he's a bad leader or a bad person or a bad player. I think they think he's a really good player, but they clearly don't think his body stacks up. Otherwise, as the captain of the football club, you'd be putting together a deal to keep him there, wouldn't you?
Yep.
I mean, I just don't think that it's a very common situation that the captain of your club, in Oscar Allen, is out the door without a contract in front of him, or at least one that's going to match another rival.
But if you're the West Coast Eagles, you're granting what Oscar Allen is demanding. Is that right? So you go to great lengths to keep him, obviously, but where are you going to stop? So obviously they had something in front of him, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you think they had some sort of deal. So I just wonder, from a club perspective, it's not as easy as to say that, he's the captain, he's a terrific fella, character. No one's questioning that. I suppose this is a pure business decision.
Yeah, so is it the same with Tom Barras and that they're both, mutineers? Is that what we're labelling these two blokes, that they're just going for success and money and saying we'll see you later, West Coast?
There's no derogatory adjective for either of those two. I think it's just the modern game now where it's ruthless from a playing perspective, but also a club perspective. And I know that the hard part for you is you know both blokes and you know what they bring character-wise and personality-wise to a footy club, which it's something that's intangible for a football sense, but you know what happens in the locker room. That's pretty important.
Yeah, well, it's the most important thing. Don't worry about talent and how much money blokes getting paid. That doesn't get spoken about. It's the people within the footy club. I've spoken about this a number of times, and that's where I think West Coast are getting it wrong. So I don't know the medical background. Clearly West Coast have made a call, but you couldn't sit here and say that Brisbane are just incompetent medically and have gone, let's give it a throw at the stumps for 5 years with Oscar Allen. Clearly they think they can fix whatever the issue is. So if one club's saying that and West Coast is saying another thing, to me it sits somewhere in the middle probably, if that's the case. I think you've got to make a call on the people. And to have Oscar Allen and Tom Barras, who I see as two of the biggest and best leaders at that football club, leave in what is clearly a void in leadership at that club. There's a clear void in leadership. You can't challenge that. And the signings that they have done, it puts talent over people, in my opinion. And I don't particularly sit too well with it, given the results of the footy club. I don't sit well with it. If they had been a 12-win season this year and missed finals and they're on the up, great. Won one game this year and you've had two leaders walk out the door.
I wonder whether that is the reason they've made this call, the Eagles, not to go that extra mile because of their ladder position, because where they see their list, and they have to try and get some young talent in. It's look, unless you go into the minds of Don Pike and the football department, we really can't second guess what their rationale is. Clearly, they're looking to get back to the draft and have a really strong look this year and obviously next year before Tasmania comes in. But you've obviously pointed out the reasons why it could hurt them.
You're not going to lose with picks 1 and 2. It's not going to be a loss for the club in terms of in terms of capital they get into the footy club. Picks 1 and 2 in any year. I know there's been a bit of talk that it's not the strongest draft ever, but really there hasn't been too many number 1 or 2. Even if 1 is a bit of a flop, number 2 has been pretty good. So if you take both of those, you're going to get a gun.
And you've got Harley already at 1. He's going to be a player.
Sounds like he's signing with the club. I place more importance on people than I think other people do, and so that's why it's fired me up a bit.
Do you think Liam Duggan will be captain next year?
I don't know, mate. Yeah, I mean that'll be a player vote.
Yeah, but Liam Baker keeps getting spoken about how good he's been on field and leadership wise. Yeah,
I've heard a fair bit about him off field and said that he was a real driver of standards. I'm not saying that Liam Duggan doesn't do that, but I've heard one thing that Liam Baker and Jack Graham together has brought to the footy club is a driver of standards, and that's what they need. I mean, their fundamental skills are the worst in the comp.
Yeah,
just dreadful at stages. That's what lets them down. At stages, their intensity is matched with the best, like against Adelaide and Collingwood.
Even
some of these sides.
Sydney first half on Saturday night. We thought this is first quarter. They were clean. The skills. It was we'll talk about it, but they were a side that I think you've said. You've seen glimpses through the year and strong glimpses, but the bottom line is they've won one game and they don't look like, in the short term, jumping up to 5 wins anytime soon.
The fact that West Coast have won one game and the captain's leaving is the biggest moment of the round, I think. Your partner for mining, construction and remote projects bring you the biggest moment of the round. MSH. That's right, Mine Services Holdings, mshph.com.au for the big moments and big equipment. Now, Skeeter, let's get into, I think, the happiest moment of the round. And that's the Freo Dockers. We'll break this game down, but the fact that Freo are in finals is bloody huge. And I'm for one, excited.
Absolutely.
I love it.
So do I. I think it's terrific. And they have been, the numbers keep saying it, they have been one of the form sides of the past 3 months. Now, they haven't played their best footy in the last month. They've got across the line against Carlton and they beat St Kilda, and they had some moments against Port Adelaide where you thought, but they've got there. And what they did on yesterday, after being really under siege in the first quarter, inside 50s were just off the charts for the Bulldogs. The defence stood up. Bulldogs didn't take opportunities. Yeah, I thought it was, and obviously the second quarter where they just ripped them to shreds with their midfield and their ball use, 7 unanswered goals. It was terrific. I thought it was a really mature performance. We'll
break the game down in a bit, Skate, but you didn't pick them, by the way, so I thought
no, I did not.
Of that. I did, and I was strong on them, and they showed me, just gave me, I probably I was excited. I was excited to see them play the way they did because that's what I thought would happen. I thought that they'd learn from what happened in Brisbane. Certainly if Bulldogs kick a couple of those goals early, mentally it would have been tough for them because I think they had 3 or 4 set shots early the Bulldogs missed. Yeah. If they had to put those on the board, you're on the road, you're down by 4 goals, you're getting pummeled. I think it becomes a hard mental acquisition for them to actually go on and take that game by the horns. But Skeeter, I just wanted to break down the finals permutations because, of course, we've got one more game left.
Yes, well, I need you to do that because I've sort of, I did maths 4 at school, which probably doesn't constitute giving out advice.
So top 6 is locked in. First is Adelaide, so they're minor premiers. Well done to them. Second is Geelong. No one's spoken about them.
They might win the grand final, but still no one will speak about them.
Premiership team, no, Geelong, piss off.
Can't win it.
Brisbane are third, so they locked that in with a win last night against the Hawks. Fourth are Collingwood. They limped into a top 4 spot there. They almost got done by Melbourne, but they'll finish top 4. They'll get an away qualifying
it's
final.
A matchup that we were hoping for, isn't it?
Yeah, away qualifying final. We saw that last week, didn't we? Adelaide Collingwood.
That's what I'm saying. We get the rematch,
which is going to be interesting from a coaching point of view. What they learn, what they do in that one. So it'll be Geelong, Brisbane. I think at the MCG, which is probably advantage Brisbane rather than having to go down to Kardinia Park. GWS will finish 5th, and Fremantle will finish 6th. So it's a locked-in home final for Freo. Doesn't matter what happens in the Suns game. If the Suns win by roughly 26 points, just what'll change it if Essendon score around 70 points is what this is based off. If it's like, I don't know, if they score 40, they have to. It's less the margin. If they score 100, they have to win by more to increase their percentage. So if the Suns win by roughly 26 points, they finish 7th and they'll play the Dockers here. Hawks will finish 8th and they'll play the Giants and the Dogs will miss out. If the Suns win by less than roughly 26 points, the Hawks will finish 7th and play the Dockers. The Suns will finish 8th and play the Giants in the what do they call the Conception Cup? No, the
Expansion Cup.
Expansion Cup, that's right. So it'll be Expansion Cup elimination final. If the Suns lose, which is a possibility, Skeeter, it's a possibility. It's impossible. Well, it's not. It's a minority.
Improbable.
Yes. Hawks will finish 7th, and they'll play the Dockers. Dogs will finish 8th, and they'll play the Giants, and the Suns will miss out.
So what Dockers supporters I'd imagine would be hoping for is a Suns win by that 30 points plus or 26 points plus, because then they get to host the Suns, which I think, just looking at it, is probably the more palatable option. Hawthorn, to me, have more weapons.
So if you're the Suns and you're flying to Sydney, which is a
1
hour trip to play GWS, and you're up by 25 points with 10 minutes to go, and you're faced with that or flying 5 hours across the country to play the Dockers, are you parking the bus and dictating where you finish? Because they're going to be able to. They're going to know their live percentage. What are you doing if you're the Suns?
Are you saying there's going to be some massaging of the spread?
Well, that's why this is such a disgraceful fixture, because they're going to be able to dictate what they do. Now, you could say that if this game was tacked on at the end of the round, that they could probably do the same thing if it's the last game.
Yeah.
But what makes it different is that it's on a Wednesday. You're playing Essendon, who's got a VFL side out there, and it's a standalone game. I've said this from the get-go.
Yeah,
this
but
is just a shit circumstance.
To put it in perspective, just briefly, given what the Suns have dished up in the past fortnight, I would imagine that Damien Hardwick have been beaten by the Giants, beaten by Port. He will want them to go out and play good footy, full stop. Yeah, I think you've just got to get back to playing the footy that they can play. And if it means you win by 11 goals, so be it.
Yep.
You come across here in a far better mindset than crawling home by 2 goals over Essendon.
All right. I like it, Skeeter. Very good. Let's get into the games, Skeeter. Let's start with Freo. I think usually we go in order first, but West Coast can piss off. Fremantle 112 defeated the Western Bulldogs 97 at Marvel Stadium on Sunday. You know what? Sorry, Freo fans. They need to back it up. They need to back it right up. Beep, 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 beep. Isaac Rankin got 4 weeks due to compelling medical evidence. He has gone to Italy since then. We have not spoken about Isaac Rankin getting 4 weeks. We need to speak about it.
Do we? Okay.
I'll speak about it.
Well, everyone was expecting 5, but then again, the AFL hasn't ever had a template in place saying if you utter a homophobic slur, you get this many weeks. So, there was a lot of talking to be 5. It's down to 4. Can you just explain to me? I didn't read the medical element of this argument.
I believe stress and anxiety caused with media storm and ongoing pressure of letting the footy club down. Look, you can't speak to mental health, to be honest. No. But if that's a reason to use, I would say, just like when we saw the good bloke clause come out.
Charlie Cameron got rid of that.
Right, good bloke. Why wouldn't every club do that for anything that ever happens? Of course, I keep going back to Andrew Gaff, because Andrew Gaff, makes a mistake, lets his team down, misses a grand final. So this is what we're thinking is going to happen with Rankin if Adelaide goes in and makes it. So different circumstances in action, but the outcome's the same in terms of what they're going to miss. Why couldn't you use the same defence and say, well, it's mentally affecting me poorly that I've let my teammates down? I just don't agree with that. I think the AFL has been wish-washy on this since the get-go. And we sit with ourselves with this. I don't understand why that decision couldn't have been made on Monday last week, except we had to cop it all week.
I did see, to try and lighten up, I did see a quote from Matty Campbell, Fox Footy history commentator. He said it was quick as it took a shorter time to pick the last Pope, that did the AFL to decide the ranking case.
No, seriously. And talking about the Pope, he's gone to Italy, right? So maybe he's gone to see him because... that's the part of this that wants to get out of the footy bubble and get out of there. Just on the footy bubble and the scrutiny I do understand it to a way. Now I haven't had this happen to me in terms of all eyes on him. Turn your social media off for a bit, and
it's pretty. It's pretty heavy though. I think it's a bit different to being outed for 3 or 4 weeks for striking, etc. This is reputationally, and I'm not saying it's not defending him, but this is one that, put it this way, if you made that mistake or I made that mistake in the media sense and we lost our job or we were suspended...
Would you be off to Italy or? You can afford it. Neither can I.
I think I can understand him feeling a bit, wanting to just escape and just maybe not be in Adelaide, because at the moment, obviously, finals, it's probably not a bad move to get out of the country.
Now, I haven't seen any reports this morning yet, but let's move on from that. I'd love to just park that and just not talk about it again. Would be great. Be interesting if Adelaide do lose their qualifying final though, and Isaac Rankin has an opportunity to play in the grand final in 4 weeks, because that will be a media storm. He'll want to still be in Italy.
Imagine him in the parade.
Oh man,
look, it's just
So I haven't seen anything on it. I picked this up while we were watching, and I know there's been a lot of talk about it. Caleb Sarong bump on Jordan Croft. Do we think he's in trouble? Are we okay? I just want to say from the get-go, I hope to God that he's fine.
Absolutely. The good thing is Croft got up, played on Sarong, and also if you look at the slow-mo, just checking to see who got to the footy first. Yeah. So, I personally, I don't think Caleb Sarong will have a case to answer. That's in short. I don't think he should be missing a final. I don't think he will.
So I agree, but the Stephen May incident is almost identical. It's a football action, and he's going for the ball, which is what Caleb Sarong did. Caleb Sarong should get no weeks. Stephen May should have got no weeks. It's the same thing. It's a football incident. So are we gonna rule on football incidents, or are we gonna rule on, the outcome, which is him getting hit in the head? I know he plays on. No,
but the outcome is the difference here. The May situation, there was a concussion.
It's so dumb. It
was outcome based. There's no question about that. And on this instance, I think Caleb Sarong within hours will be cleared to play.
Good. All right, I'll be happy with that. All right, Skate, let's break down that game. Let's get into it. I said the scores before. 112 defeat the Western Bulldogs, 97, Marvel Stadium. Yesterday, the Dockers have locked in their home final, and it's good night to the Bulldogs for their season, more than likely. Although, I will say on the Bulldogs, just a cruel 3 days here. You can't have Mad Monday.
Got to train.
You're reviewing the game. You've got to train. Like shithouse. Like shithouse. They'll have beers on ice watching this one, and by halftime, if they're up by 10 goals, they'll be cracking the beers.
Yeah, it's just a horrible way to finish the season.
But how bloody good were the Dockers? They were elite across the board, because you're right, the first quarter, there was a complete domination by the Bulldogs. They absolutely smashed the Freo midfield. Sarong, Brayshaw, nowhere near it. Didn't see much of Jackson. Shea Bolton was a bit fumbly early, and the Bulldogs went hard. They just couldn't convert, and we saw that from the Dockers against Brisbane. Really, it was a flip side. So it was nice for Dockers fans to cop that. But the back line was amazing. Brendan Cox in that first quarter probably saved 4 goals by himself.
Yep.
They held up. Alex Pearce, in that quarter and all day, kept Sam Darcy goalless. First time goalless this year, other than when he did his knee and was subbed out. So that's a massive win for the Freo backline. And I think as a Freo fan, if you're watching that one, you're bloody proud of your team.
Absolutely. And you'd look at, I know you said that their win over Collingwood was their best ever victory home and away. Well, this has to be, given the importance, the significance. And bear in mind, 12 months ago, and you can criticise the coach, the players, rightfully so last year, because in the last month, they didn't put away matches that they could have and should have. This year, Brisbane, they were beaten by a better side. They might end up being beaten by back-to-back premiers, who knows? They have put together, it hasn't just been the last month, they've shown a lot of maturity, winning tight games, coming from behind on the road, and they were down at quarter time on a number of metrics, including the scoreboard. Yeah, that's a huge win, and it's, deservedly, they get a break now. They can put their feet up. Obviously, they'll train through this next week, but they'll be able to sit back and know they've got a home final, and they've got a pretty healthy list, which is important as well.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that come out of this. Justin Longmuir is one of them. We're talking about what happens if they lose. What's the repercussions for his job? Well, I think rightfully so. I think if they had lost, he should have kept his job. But they win, and there's no chat about it, really.
Just puts it all to bed.
Yeah, there's no chat about it. So that's great for him. Hayden Young gets through the game and was very good. When they were struggling in that first quarter, Hayden Young had 3 clearances. They only had 3 clearances for that period of time. It was him. Inside 50s, he had 2 of their 3. Without him, they probably get walked over a bit, but he came on and injected his into the game, and he played the entire game. They didn't sub him out. They didn't take him off. He finished the game on the ground, so they get him through. Nat Fyfe didn't play a lot of minutes. I guess that's a good thing for Freo.
And I'll just quickly touch on, we're talking about moving forward because we've seen the game. For what it's worth, Matty Johnson played for Peel, and so he's available, I'd imagine. So too Nathan O'Driscoll, who kicked some goals and was looking pretty good for Peel. So they've got the reinforcements there if required, but gee, it's a nice setup for them to have a break now, I'm guessing. I mean, in your situation, the bye's been around for pre-finals bye for a little while. Would you prefer to play next week if you're Freo, or are you happy to put
I reckon
the
they need a spell, especially as a West Australian side. I reckon the spell
helps.
Goes okay. Yeah, absolutely. Nathan O'Driscoll had 25 and kicked 3 goals.
Yeah. And one, he bounced his way through the middle of Lane Group Stadium and kicked. That's what his bread and butter is. He's a runner. He can kick goals. We just haven't seen it AFL level for a bit.
So that's their last game because there's round 21 has two games.
Well, that's the final start this week.
Sorry, it says round 21. Right, that's the finals this week. No finals bye.
No pre-finals
Obviously, big fan of the waffle. And following well,
you're going to make a comeback to the league early this season. So
I haven't ruled that out yet.
You could do it. I haven't
ruled it in. I haven't ruled it out.
I'd love you to make a comeback.
Well, I did. I did make a comeback. It wasn't in the waffle, and I kicked one of the great goals of all time. Right, so that's the proof, and it's in the pudding.
You still got it.
It's the proof, and it's in the pudding.
Isn't the proof in the eating? Isn't the proof in the eating?
How does the pudding eat? How does it taste?
But the proof is in the eating.
Does the pudding taste nice? Because I proved it to you.
Yeah, that's true. And you also had lots of egg on the face at times as well. So
and how did that taste?
Yeah, that tastes buttercup.
So they're done now. So that's sort of what I was speaking about last week. Is they don't have the opportunity to go and show, I guess possession here for a spot. Like I think Neil Erasmus has jumped Matt Johnson. Now, whether or not that's right or wrong, they're not going to drop Neil Erasmus for Matt Johnson.
I don't think anyone's been dropped.
No,
from yesterday.
No, well, see, I personally like what Neil Erasmus brings to the side. I think he's cleaner and coughs the ball up less, if I'm brutal, against Matty Johnson. Either by foot, hand, or being tough in the contest. I think Neil Erasmus is better.
Yeah, and look, I remember commentating him when he was playing PSA footy, and he was elite in a lot of departments, overhead really good. His kicking at goal, for instance, was an area that let him down. So I think he's just working really hard, and I would have thought if he hadn't been getting these chances, he may well have been a target for other clubs. But yeah, he'll play in the first final. I'd be staggered if he doesn't.
Can you come back and start calling PSA footy again, just Aquinas games?
Oh yeah, no, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
You can sit next to the coach.
You're allowed to sledge the coach of the home side, being you.
So I just super impressed. The Dockers after quarter time, they kicked 7 goals to nothing in the second. They kicked 6 goals to 3 in the third, and the game was done basically. Bulldogs made a run on the back of Marcus Bontempelli. I mean,
he's a gun.
He's just a superstar. He had 14 disposals, 10 of those contested. He had 9 clearances and a goal in the last quarter. So he did everything he possibly could. He must be so frustrated as a player, I think, that they find themselves in this position again. They can't get out of the blocks, the Bulldogs, and they find themselves at the back end of years fighting for a final spot. We've never, even in their premiership year, seen them dominate a season. We've never seen them in the top 4.
But you look at their lineup, and I know defensively they'll have to go into the market, you'd imagine, to try and either bring
a backman
in to their defence. O'Donnell's developing, Lobb's been very serviceable.
They subbed Busselton off as a key back.
Yes.
To get Artie Jones onto the ground.
And he gave them...
I think O'Donnell's been good, but he needs another key back next to him. Now,
Liam
Jones fell off a cliff. I'm not sure where he went. They might have been hoping that, maybe a Croft or a Ugle-Hagan or, they might have, hoped for a bit of an oversupply in what they were doing. But Rory Lobb was... he was literally no match for Josh Tracy, and Patrick Voss had one of his best games.
Yeah,
because he played like a forward. There probably wasn't that, Harris Andrews for him to go and be that defensive forward on. I think I've played defensive forward before. It's difficult. You really need to play as a forward. Like the best way to, make a defender accountable is to get the footy right and to go and attack the ball. And I thought Josh Tracy did that. Josh Tracy and Patrick Voss, Luke Jackson looked dangerous as well as a forward. I'm probably with you, mate. I don't think many changes happened. However, Corey Wagner has hurt his pec. So if that's a torn pec, he's done.
Gone for the year.
If that's what it is, we don't know. Sam Switkowski, it was a knee knock. It looked like a bad corky, but again, we don't know where that sits. So there's two players there. Sam Switkowski, for what it's worth, I reckon that was probably his best game of the year. He was elite. But if those two are out, then there's two spots available. It could be those two blokes we just spoke about, Driscoll and Matt Johnson, maybe. I don't know. And do you keep Nat Fyfe as the sub?
You know what? It's a nice luxury to be able to go through those. Not the injuries, obviously, but just they've got a little bit of depth there now. And as you said, although Peel's campaign's over, what we saw on the weekend means they've got a couple of players ready and willing if required.
Bloody good for the Dockers, and we'll be watching here at home. Another game for us to call, Skeeter.
Wednesday.
Back here. No, sorry, I mean for the home final.
Oh, yes, it's a beauty, isn't it?
At Optus Stadium. Sydney 118 defeated West Coast 51 at Optus Stadium on Saturday. You and I both called these respectively for our TV channels. Eagles were pretty good in the first half. They were leading at half time. They jumped the Swans and kicked the first 3 goals of the game. The crowd was up and about, albeit not a big one, Skeeter. It was fan day, and they served the fans by not rocking up. I'm serious. There was no one there.
There was just under 40,000.
Was there?
Yeah.
Looked less than that.
Which is, to be honest with you,
that was a pretty good effort.
Hats off to them. They just keep turning up, a lot of them, and they know the result. It's going to be pretty grim.
So from that, though, the Swans dominated the second half, kicking 13 goals to 1 in the second half. So it was a complete drop-off. I was close to the quarter-time huddle at Sydney, one of the all-time sprays from Dean Cox. I went quite close to it. I won't repeat exactly what he said, but it was based around effort, defensive intent, selfishness, and some individuals were pointed out. And I guess they didn't immediately respond, but they did for the game. But he was not happy at quarter-time. They had a few tactical things they were trying to do. And he basically just said, "Fuck it, we're not doing it. You're going, we're equalising. We're all playing on someone. You don't want to do what we're set up to do. Just get back to it and play the game." So the Swans did respond. You see that from West Coast, and you think, well, why can't they do that for the entire game? Why can't they bring that intensive defensive intensity?
They were clean
throughout the game. They were skillful. Yeah.
Now, whether that is credit to West Coast, but also, as Dean Cox would have pointed out, a lack of intensity from his group. And when that gets dialed up from the opposition, whether the Eagles are then able to maintain where they're at over the space of 4 quarters. But and watching Sydney, talk about, look, the Bulldogs unlucky to miss the 8, but Sydney last 3 months getting the band back together, gee whiz, they're a black booker, as they say in racing. Next year, if they can get black booker, if they can get a key forward coming to the city and the club. And I interviewed actually Errol Goulden. He's just good to watch live, isn't he? His foot skills are amazing. I actually interviewed him in the rooms afterwards. He's so diminutive, but he's absolutely firing on the weekend.
Was he as disappointed with the year as he was? So I interviewed him out on the ground, and he was shattered.
I sort of my first question was mixed emotions, obviously satisfied, but your belly sort of half full because of where the season's at. He said, no. I'm totally flat. Yeah, so it wasn't a case of we won the game. You're right. He echoed what he said to me in the rooms, and it was that's what athletes are like. You win a game, but your season ends because half those blokes aren't used to having time off in September.
Well, I did mention that to him. I said, mate, have you considered the fact that I think it's the first time he hasn't played finals in his career. So it is also the first time he's experiencing that. So, I mean, it's a good thing that he's so flat, but also he missed, half the year. I think he only played 10 games.
And he said he's still not back health-wise, which shows you if you can get a decent pre-season, he's an absolute jet.
What a West Coast. I mean, West Coast are done now. Thank God.
Yes.
One win. I think one of 5 teams in the last 50 years to win one game.
Yeah, it's terrible numbers. How would today be? Today's Monday.
Oh, they'll just be on the beers, mate.
But is it
It'll be a few beers.
It's pretty flat, or do you try and move on?
Mate, it's not like it's a close loss where it's stewing.
But even the season.
Yeah. But I think they've had enough time to consider where they're at. It's not like, I think a close loss and it sits with you for a long time, and you have to sort of live with it. Well, they're going to have to live with this season and what they've put out. I do think they have improved. Like, I do think, and we'll probably do a bit of a review on their season maybe next week or the week after. But
and let's put it this way: this week there'll be players told that they're no longer required, and the group is going to be separated as it is. That's always the case any given year. But you're going to find players delisted now. Whether
that would have already happened for a few.
As in today or before the end of the week?
Anyone who didn't play on the weekend, they would have done it last week to a few of them.
So therefore, whether there's more to come this week, you'd think so?
There will be, yeah. I know for a fact that they've done a few of them already. They just haven't released it. And there'll be, I reckon, tomorrow and Wednesday are the days where you got to come in and do your exit meeting. You basically get told, shit year, but I'll see you next year. Shit year, and we're considering what we're going to do with you. We might try and trade you, or shit year, thanks for coming. We're done. So there's no one's copping a good year, mate.
So how many players do you think will get the last option, which is goodbye, thank you for your services?
I don't know off the top of my head how many draft picks they have, but it'll be relative to that. You'd think there'd be at least, well, they're going to have 5, that's minimum, but they've of course moved on Sheed and McGovern, so there's the 2 list changes. But you'd think another 5 at least don't get contracts, but that's at a minimum. I think they'll be looking to move on anyone that they don't think that can be a part of the future. Just for reference, it's the second worst losing streak in the club's history. Worst is 16, so they're on 13.
Oh, they're on track to get that then.
Top 6 losing streaks, all 9+ games come in the last 4 seasons. Is the 5th team in the last 50 years to have 1-win season. Melbourne in 81, Sydney in 93, Fitzroy in 96, who were disbanded, and GWS in 2013, who were children. And it's the first ever team to lose 22 matches in a season. Home and away now longer than previous seasons with the 23 games. But
do you think that's how they'll open up the Club Champion Awards night with?
That's an interesting question, mate. I mean,
I said that in jest.
I know, and lots of people are having a bit of a laugh about it, but it feels a bit personal to me. Mm. Like this year more than others, I've been trying to be positive about it because I just was sick of beating the club up, and not that it has anything to do with me, but not much change. And I hope that they feel the same way. I really hope that they understand the opportunity that they have to represent the footy club and the players, because in the end, you can have the best coaches and the support staff and the money and the facilities and the fans and the media over here. You can have all of it, but in the end, it comes down to player and personal responsibility. And I hope enough of them realise that that's what the case is, and I hope they've got enough people around them at the footy club that make them realise what that is, because it's no one else's job to make sure a competitive football side. It's the players, like in the end. So,
and you've got to have the players of that ability to execute what other clubs are doing. Just on a lighter note, was it a sense of some pride that you saw the number 31 trotted out onto Optus Stadium?
I absolutely loved it. Luca Grego, brilliant. I've watched him all year, been in pretty regular contact with him. I was down the rooms afterwards doing some stuff with Fox and got to meet his mum, his dad, his grandma, his auntie, his brother. A couple of them big fans of the show, FootyCast and BackChat, given how much sort of attention we've been giving him. And I just thought it was brilliant for the young man on his debut to play pretty well. He was taking kickouts. He was confident.
Yeah. So what begs the question, and again, I haven't watched him in the waffle at all, really. Why isn't he been given a Guernsey a little bit earlier?
I was watching him pretty closely. Like I think like he'll learn a fair bit out of the game. He was probably matched up on some of those Sydney smaller forwards, and there's pretty hard workers out there. Tommy Papley went pretty well, and there's just a massive step up in defensive intensity. I think with the footy in hand and his tackling when it's right there was really good. But when the ball's not in your area at AFL level, like, you got to keep your head on the swivel. You got to be running just as hard, probably harder when the ball's not near. But as a young player, you don't really see that. So that's probably the area of his game he's got to go work on. But certainly a good future ahead for him. Another player to add to the 31 brotherhood. Martin Nikoski handed the 31 to me. Declan Mountford wore the 31 for one game in the COVID.
Marvel Stadium, I think it was. Yeah.
Jermaine Jones played 50 games in it. There's a couple of others as well. I won't say I wasn't disappointed in not giving his jumper to him, but
in the room. So I thought you might have. We gave you a mention on 7 about being number 31, and one of the boys said played 194 games, blah blah blah, and Scully be very proud. And I think I said something like, he'll tell you all about it as well. It was good. It's a nice little moment.
It's about Luca, so he did well to play his first game in it, and I hope he's got a long career ahead of him.
Ditto.
Carlton 90 defeated Essendon 56 MCG Thursday night. Skeeter. Did anyone watch this game?
Well, I called it, so I did, yeah. Essendon. Look, Essendon were pretty competitive given, what they've got 15 debutants this season. And Carlton, I think, apart from anything, I think it was good the way they finished the season. Michael Voss, given another sort of year to at least establish whatever they can do, get a better list together, get some more talent into the club.
I listened to Tom DeConing's chat after the game. Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. It was weird. I mean, the presentation post-match, it seemed to go for a long time. The president went on for a while, and he had a speech. Brad Lloyd departure as well. But that was the most interesting element, because he said, wish the boys all the best, which means he's going. But it was just a strange setup. His 100th game, of course, was the reason for the presentation.
Awkward.
It felt a bit awkward. His parents were there, so look, I mean, let's just, we're still clandestine about telling people what we're doing. He's going. Is Charlie Curnow going as well? Not sure. Harry Mackay.
I gave it to you, guarantee of the week. I've already given you the guarantee of the week.
He said he's going to Gold Coast. I'm not sure that's the case.
See you later. He's gone. Oh, maybe it's not Gold Coast. He's out of there. I'll just stay. 12 losses in a row for Essendon, their worst streak since 2006, not including 2016 when the players were banned for a start.
Probably. How hard would it be going from a Thursday night game, you go to the Gold Coast for a Wednesday game?
I would be pretty happy with it if you're Essendon. Can you barely pav?
Yeah, I'm saying, can you
start putting the plans together early, get the beers. Mate, they've got to stay. Mate, that'd be brilliant. First night for off season in mate, their season's over, so. Mate, they'll be one of the more prepared clubs for off season.
A little couple of days. Well, they don't have to get back for. Can you do your reviews before this game?
No, they don't. They won't stay in the Gold Coast, but night one's on the Gold Coast. Oh, that's just a brilliant result for Essendon. You don't have to go to some dingy bloody nightclub in Essendon.
There's plenty of dingy nightclubs on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, there is. But yeah, thanks for coming. There we go. Oh, Wednesday night actually. Wednesday night Gold Coast.
You end up at the casino. That's where you end up.
How do you know that, Skeet?
Well, I do know the Gold Coast pretty well.
How many times have you ended up in a casino?
Not a heap, but no, it's
not a big casino, man.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not either. Crown's fantastic, mind you. And if we ever get accommodation, we'll be.
Remember the grand final? Alex and I, we'd been at the grand final, and we were staying at Crown, and you might not even remember. We came back trying to get a feed, and we just stumbled into. Well, you stumbled into us. You were just
after which grand final? The one, the grand final here?
Yeah, no. Melbourne.
Oh, Melbourne. Okay.
You were just by yourself, just wandering around the corridors of Crown.
No, I was probably just checking in on, just making sure there was room service sorted.
Not in our room. It was like in reception. You were doing laps or something.
Just wandering around, just enjoying the spectacle.
That's all.
They're done. Carlton finished, and
Essendon apparently. Yeah. So anyway, Collingwood 82 defeated Melbourne 76. Skeeter, I'm going to put this one down as the Heyscape Escape of the Week. Heyscape.com.au for your chance to stay in nature in some luxury accommodation. Get on to heyscape.com.au. Appreciate the people that reached out over the weekend booking these ones in. I think there's a discount code still available for winter. It got extended through August, so jump on there and book yourself a cabin. Collingwood defeating Melbourne and hanging on to top 4 is the escape of the week for me, Skeeter. They've limped in here. If they lost this game, they are on the road to somewhere else in an elimination final. So they get the week off, they get a chance to reset, and I think become the bogey team of finals now with a double chance. They're just not a side you want to come up against. I understand their form. They're well coached, well drilled, and their form's not great. But a week off turns this side into a very dangerous team.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think, and the double bite at it means the senior players, the ageing group they've got, will benefit enormously. Lockie Schultz, a couple of goals from him. Jamie Elliott getting back into a bit of form as well.
John DeGoey, 26 touches and a goal.
Yeah, so I suppose what we have to look forward to from them, in brief, apart from winning the game, they're down by about 15 points to Melbourne, who have shown a bit in the last few weeks under Troy Chaplin, is they do lose Jeremy Howe. Now, how long for remains to be seen with I think it's the adductor.
Right.
So, yeah, not sure the severity of it, but he's pretty important for them.
Yep.
First final against Adelaide, most likely, and their defensive setup. So that's the big watch at the end of that game is how Jeremy Howe will end up, how much part he'll play in the finals.
Can Collingwood win the flag? I think you said no last week.
I'm going to say no still.
I think they can.
They can.
From top four.
Once you finish fourth, I think we both agree here. If they'd missed top four, I don't think they could. But now, they're 2 wins away from a grand final.
They lost to Adelaide by a goal. If they reverse that result and they manage to beat Adelaide in Adelaide,
and their record against them is exceptional,
and they're in a prelim final at the MCG.
That's
to go past them to make a grand final. If they make a grand final, you can win one. So,
yeah, they've got to win 2 games, and that's right. I think you're on the money there. But that game against Adelaide, that's massive.
Let's give me some good ones. Who's Brisbane? Brisbane playing Geelong.
Geelong at the G.
Yeah, they have a good game too. They've been better away from home this year than they have at home, Brisbane. So
and they should get Lockie Neal back. Anyway.
That's correct. Max Gorn was pretty good in this one, 12 plus clearances, but couldn't get it done. Melbourne done for the year. We'll review their season a little bit. Port Adelaide 71 defeated. Gold Coast 67. We knew this was on the card, Skeeter.
Banana peel game.
We both picked Gold Coast, but I should have picked Port. This is always going to happen. Rosie and Butters went to new levels. 35 touches for Butters, 14 contested, and 8 tackles. Rosie, 34 touches, 6 clearances and a goal. Georgiadis looked unbelievable, 4 goals. This was just we're doing it for the boys in Boakey and Hinkley, and I saw footage of Sam Powell-Pepper and the boys not playing in the race, watching this one on. They were revved up to win this one, and I think, to be honest, I think it's bloody good for Port Adelaide and those 2 boys to see it out on a win.
It is, and I'll take the flip version of that, is that the Gold Coast Suns had a chance to finish top 4, and they blew their lines.
Butchered it.
Terrible. And you know what? They showed glimpses at times, but they led at half time, but it was never really a convincing performance from them. And I've got to tell you, even post-game, Ken Hinkley said he didn't think his team had any chance of winning.
Chance.
He was great. He was so, as you would be when you're finishing up, he loves the club. And they played for him and Boakey, and that was always going to be the prospect of them jumping up and doing that. And you mentioned those players that did really well. I'll tell you the other factor, because I called this game,
yep.
and there were a lot of those free kicks were there. It was 33 free kicks to 16, and even Damien Hardwick said, I think the umpires got seduced by the moment.
I thought the umpires got caught up in the emotion of the game. It can happen. Free kicks with 33 to 16, Skeeter.
I think it was 10 free kicks to 1 in terms of holding the balls called.
You know what Damien Hardwick loves doing? He loves...
deflecting? No?
Well, he likes deflecting, but all coaches like that. He loves throwing something like that into it, but like saying it in a nice way. I know, like, this isn't really the reason, but like this is what I think. Like, I don't like his attitude sometimes post-game after a loss. It's very...
Yeah, but see, if you're a coach and you lost, and I was a coach and I'd be...
But I'm not. So
I'd be teeing off at everyone.
Let's head to the other room to hear what Mark Reed's had to say. These fucking blokes have fucked us.
No, I wouldn't be swearing, but I would be saying Will Schofield needs to grow up.
I'm just looking back at Gold Coast because I agree they've butchered this completely.
Oh, top 4.
They have lost to GWS twice in the last 10 weeks. They will be not wanting to play GWS completely own this football club.
They do.
They've never beaten them.
Davis said on radio the other week, they just own them.
They have never beaten them.
Yeah. So they want to come over here, basically.
Yes. So can you imagine wanting to fly across the country instead of playing Gold Coast, GWS, your effective crosstown rivals? Yeah, they've butchered the back end of this year. Terrific for Travis Boak and Ken Hinkley. I think it's brilliant when things like this, a little bit of a fairy tale finish for some, which is what Fremantle are pushing for Nat Fife. I saw that Instagram post. Fairy tale continues. from Freo?
Yeah, I haven't.
Fairy tale continues. Or you were too busy tweeting?
I've barred myself from social media. So Instagram I don't look at too often.
Well, they had an Instagram. Why don't you look at Instagram?
I don't know actually how to get it up on my phone, to be totally honest with you.
You click on it.
My daughter does it.
So, the fairy tale's not over. How do we feel? I felt so vindicated. Freo home final.
Well, another farewell.
Or is Fifey doing another lap? This is what I was saying last week.
Will, you've been right all along about so many things. It's about time people listen to you because we've heard you bang on about we've actually closed the door and didn't want to hear you anymore. But you've been right all along. Maybe we've got a red hat. Schofield was right all along.
Can you clip this up, please? Well, I was.
No, you are right. I'm telling you.
I was. I mean, it was ridiculous. What are they doing? They had a home final on the line, and they bloody won. I reckon you told me they couldn't play home final. Well, they bloody are.
Well, I didn't know the ladder could end up like it is.
And now what's Fifey going to do? Is he going to do another lap? Is he?
Yeah, well, you get a dress
rehearsal. I spoke to Dave Mundy because Dave Mundy did about 4 of these as well. You remember Dave?
Yeah.
Same thing happened to him. There was the Bulldogs year.
And they said, go to the other side of the ground and clap your supporters.
Well, stop doing laps. Get off.
They can do it next week, though.
They can have one of the premiership parade when they win the flag.
I'll guarantee you he'll do another one.
He'll do another one.
Yeah.
Well, so what did he do 2 weeks ago for?
Just in case he didn't play at home.
Oh, God, just in case. Seriously.
But
you should finish every radio session, every TV, and just do a lap of honour, just in case it's your last one, Skater. Bloody hell. Adelaide. Yeah. So, anyway, so we okay with that? So, if Fifey does another lap, and so... Do you think if Freo win or lose, that you'll get the chair off in the corridor?
If they lose
or win?
No, if they lose, you'll get the chair off, definitely.
What if they win?
No, but not the chair off.
So no chair off if they win?
No, because he's got to play another game, at least one more game.
Yeah, but not at home.
No, you won't get the chair off if they win.
Can you
guarantee? Can I go 2 weeks ahead?
Early?
That's my guarantee of the first final. He will not be chaired off the ground.
He'll get chaired off
if they win.
They've already set the standard. He has to be chaired off. He has to be chaired off. They did it in bloody round 22. You can't tell me he's not getting chaired off again. He'll get chaired off. It'll be a double chair.
He'll get cheered off, not chaired.
No,
off.
He'll get chaired. He'll double chair. He'll get double chair off.
Let's go. How many games we got?
Let's whip through it. Adelaide 113 defeated North Melbourne 100. North Melbourne. I mean, they've just sucked all year. Seriously. So I don't know what their off season's going to look like, but they haven't been much better than West Coast, if we're honest. And I think they've got a better list. So they really haven't. Yes, they've won a few more games. They didn't win the amount of games I needed them to win. But
exactly 5.5.
Yeah, correct, mate. Do you think I feel like I have a case there with our betting provider, with our bet with mates.
What do they finish on?
5.5. 5 wins and a draw. That's 5.5 wins.
So what was the line? 5.5.
5.5. Surely I get that money back.
I would have thought you get.
They're saying they're not going to recognise the half as a half. It's a 0. It's not a win. They've said. I know it's not a fucking win. It's a draw, and I want my money back.
Well, I think you should at least get half your investment back on that basis.
They're not giving anything back.
No, well, I mean,
and I've looked through their rules as well. I had a good look through it, and they got nothing about it. So they're just making it up at this stage.
You prepared to say who they are?
I think you can tell who it is. It's not. It's certainly. I will say it's certainly not our good friends at Tap Touch.
No,
it's not them. It's not them. It's not. It's not. So
are they a company that do a lot of advertising?
Hey,
they do a lot of funny advertising.
Who? I can't say who it is.
No, I thought if it says under and over 5.5 wins, if you finish on 5.5, I would have thought money back.
Yeah, so
but either way, gamble responsibly.
Well, yeah, well, either way. Is not the case because if I don't get my money back, it's not money back. That's not either way. Look, Adelaide beat North Melbourne. Crows got the minor premiership.
Good games, high scoring game. It's good.
Oh yeah. Anything else?
No.
After scoring 135 last week and 100 on Saturday, it's the highest cumulative score North have kicked in 2 weeks since 2017. They got a lot of work to do. North Melbourne will review their season, but that is done. Geelong 103 defeated Richmond 64 MCG. Cats' 6th win in a row heading into finals and another top 2 finish. They just continue to do it. Jeremy Cameron kicked 4 goals, 4 behind, 83 for the season, 17. He's not going to get there, is he?
I guarantee to get to 90 by the end of the round. Didn't come close, really.
That's garbage by you.
Yeah, it was.
He could have kicked 8 goals, kicked 4-4.
No, they led 11 goals to 2 at half time, and I heard Mick Malthouse on radio just saying they're embarrassing Richmond. It's been a shambles, and they ended up getting within 40 points, didn't they? They kicked, in the last half, they kicked 7 goals to 3.
Oh.
So, I mean, the games, Geelong are obviously looking ahead.
Q in the rack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Camden McIntosh, congratulations. He was given a guard of honour, to my knowledge, by the Richmond player because his last game.
Geelong.
I was at the footy, so I didn't see whether Geelong was there. But, yeah, he finishes a pretty darn good career. Is it 3 flags?
I think he got 2. I think he missed the third. I think some sort of table needs to be done, and we need to clarify premiership games, emotional connection to the club. Like, there has to be sort of a bit of a third column. Of
children allowed out onto the ground, that type of stuff.
That'd be good. Yeah, banner. When does the car get involved? Injuries. I think we need to put a bit of a matrix together. We need to.
We'll do that. That's
Chris with the MRO. We need our own matrix. That'd be good. Just go to the matrix and go. 200 games, has children, right? In a loss before finals, chair off. This is what you get.
Yep.
You get a single chair off.
Yep. Wife, girlfriend, or you mistress, whatever.
You get a walk off and a clap, right? That's one, right? You give the overhand, you get the underhand, right? You give the fist, you give the kiss, you give the handshake to the oppo captain, like
the old thumbs up. Like. I haven't do that at a pub occasion. Just to, mates go, I just make yourself look popular. Got him, mate.
Far out. That's very good. I want to do this. I actually want to do this.
Are we up to game number 4 now or not? Anyway, Richmond.
No. So stop bringing it up. If you want to move on, don't say anyway. Richmond. GWS 104 defeated St Kilda 93. NG Stadium. It was a bit of an escape as well.
It was, and Toby Green was enormous at the death.
He took a hanger in the corner, missed it, and then sprinted back to the middle of the ground and took a Nick Rewalt type mark with a flight.
Yeah,
he's a freak.
He's a freak. Can they do any damage in the finals?
They can. Yeah,
they can't win it, but they can't win it.
How many?
I'm just telling you who can and can't win it. I've agreed with you. Collingwood can win it. I don't think the Giants are playing well enough to win 4 finals. That's my assessment.
Yeah, you could be right. No, you could be right. Unfortunately, the 4 finals thing hurts.
It
4
does.
in a row.
I mean, Bulldogs did it, but that's going. The buy changes a bit of the narrative there, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it does.
But they got to. Yeah, they.
And Brisbane just did it last year.
That's very true. So maybe it's easier than what we think.
I think this year someone could do it because I don't think we've ever seen a stronger group of teams. If you think about the Bulldogs missing out, like such a strong side, but I reckon in other years you're like, Collingwood don't deserve to be there, or Hawthorn, whoever it is. Going through the 8, they all deserve to be there.
And you think of who misses out, Bulldogs and Sydney. I think if Sydney had made it, they would have been a tricky proposition as well.
Yeah, Lockie Whitfield and Lockie Ash both had 30 plus and 500 metres gained. That's a weird stat to put in there, Isaac. Blah, 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 blah. Saints, see you later.
Yeah, Saints finished the season with a pretty... No, I think their body of work shows, and the Naz signing is good, how they look next year. They're a team that I still... Liam Ryan gets to the club potentially.
Yeah, he goes. Nazai Wanganeen Miller came off. He hurt his knee. There was something happening in there. They had like physios and doctors around.
Imagine that.
And we were sort of watching, getting ready. I was just like, has someone got a paper shredder? Can we shred up the contract? Like if he's done his ass. Yeah, imagine he feels sick. Touch wood. I'm sure he hasn't. Anyway, let's keep going. Brisbane 89 defeated Hawthorn 79. Pretty good game last night, Skeeter. Did you see any of it or were you too busy tweeting?
No, I did see some of it. I did. No, it's
Lions lock in a top 4 spot. Brisbane kicked 11-23 and kicked 0-8
0-8. That was like, just couldn't convert.
Brisbane took 50 more marks, so that's sort of looking like their sort of ID this year. Well, at least late is taking more marks than the Oppo.
Remember the 150 odd against the Dockers,
yep,
so that's become their DNA. Dunkley, McCluggage, Rayner, they've got the quality still, haven't they?
So they can win.
They can definitely win the grand final. I said this last week. I had them as my team to win the flag, even with these injuries. You just wonder, but yeah, their quality and the belief in that group is pretty strong.
So they can win the flag back to back, and they're adding Oscar Allen. That's scary to me.
Yeah, and they've got a youngish list as well.
Yeah. By the way, so that's that game done. If I can just
Hawthorn quickly, can I just give you your thoughts on Hawthorn?
Their game style is a bit different to most of the other sides in the 8, and I think under pressure, they had a lot of turnovers against Brisbane. I think at its very best, it can look electric, and you can't stop it. But if the defensive intent from the opposition is there, it's not a game plan that's going to win you a premiership. So, they might need to add a high-quality midfielder. They need Will Day back
Will
in that
Day's
side,
important,
but they need no, not a Bontempelli, but they need someone with real class for that midfield because they've got a lot of guys that have a crack in there. Like John Newcomb has a crack gun.
Yep.
I love how he plays, but like you need him giving it to someone, to Will Day or to someone else. So they're probably just lacking that really good midfielder, and they're in the market for it clearly. So we'll see how that goes. Mubby or Chol was on early as well. I don't think they can win the flag, Hawthorn.
Not from 7th or wherever they're going to finish. No, pretty tough. But
Murphy Reid wins the Rising Star. Sorry to just divert. Well, Murphy Reid wins the Rising Star.
Who's arguing with on that?
Plenty of bloody people, especially over East. How many? I need to see who's on the Rising Star committee. How many Eastern Stars?
Isn't the same as the All Australian, or is that different?
I don't know.
I'll
But
ask
Murphy Reid has got to win it, and if it is the All Australian committee, Jacko's on there, Pav's on there. We need him winning the Rising Star. What he did yesterday in a couple of plays, he's not playing like a first-year player. That goal he kicked, that was unbelievable. Running and bouncing and taking them on, and 2 seconds later gave one of the handballs. His little touches. He's a freak show. He needs to be given the Rising Star. Someone give him a raise. All right, Skip, we have to preview one game. Gold Coast v Essendon, People First Stadium, Wednesday night. Gold Coast win and they're in. Simple. Essendon will be hoping Sam Durham and Jaden Laverde return. If the Suns lose and miss finals, it would have to be one of the all-time chokes of all, like the biggest of ever.
Yeah.
They're not going to miss.
And Gold Coast have got a reputation as a sporting venue, as in a little area, southeast Queensland, of not getting the job done. They'll beat Essendon. I mean, that's when you say Durham and Laverde, are they going to try and get them up for the final round? I mean, I suppose the integrity of the competition and maybe the AFL are saying, boys, put out
I don't want to see another coach running around. Oh, that's all right. You've already got a coach playing. Todd Goldstein, he's a coach.
Yeah. So the margin Wednesday in brief, 7 goals.
Okay, I pick the Gold Coast Suns too. I don't really care by how much, but that's probably about right. Skeeter, let's get into some questions and comments from our good friends on YouTube and Instagram. Oh, you beauty. You beauty. Derek on YouTube. I hate the saying you wouldn't want to play in finals. It's the opposite. You would want to play anyone better than the alternative season. Oblivion, fair enough. Derek. Dr. Smith on YouTube. For the love of God, Scoey, stop punching cones and making reckless comments. Freo to make finals. Laugh my ass off. Well, Dr. Smith, how about you suck on these ones, mate? I was right. Get on those ones. Get on the YouTube comments about that. I am here to acknowledge the absolute gem of a line by Will. I don't think he defended very well, which is usually one of the characteristics you need to hold as a defender, and just went straight past Skeeter. That's from Dan on YouTube.
Enjoying the self-congratulatory style.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris on email sends one in. G'day, fellas. I just want to send a shout-out to West Coast fans who use social media. If you can't handle criticism, maybe don't use social media. All you're going to see is criticism. It's 1 in 2022. It's a 1 and 2022. Far out. It's a 1 in 22 season. Worst in history. Now, that's not to say the club is not trying to turn things around or that others' opinions aren't necessarily correct. It's just how it is right now. The club is in an incredibly tough spot and at the beginning of a rebuild. Keep your support up and just take things for what they are. It doesn't mean those with opinions on West Coast hate the club or have a vendetta. It is what it is. A terrible season on the win-loss tally, and they need to get better. Get behind Minnie and the lads in 2026, but if you're finding it tough reading the sad but mostly true stories about West Coast, maybe give socials a break and go and enjoy the spring weather. It's just a game. Don't let it run your life. From Chris on email.
Chris...
Couple could take a couple of leaves out of Chris's book, to be really honest.
Yeah.
I was fighting with one in particular on social media yesterday.
Should you take a break off social media?
No. So old mate called me a CUNT.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I took
umbrage
to that, Skeet.
Fair enough. Mate,
I can have my opinions on whatever I like. In fact, I'm actually well placed to give opinions, given how long I've been at the football club and now I'm in media. He felt like I should be using my platform to not back up my mates. So an Oscar Allen, Tom Barras. I told him that they were my mates and I'll do what I like. He then said, not you're acting like one. He said, you are a. Right? How do you reckon that went down?
Did you bother replying?
I did. Yeah, I took it. I said to him in front of everyone, I said, mind your manners, compose yourself. It's just an opinion. And then I took it offline to his DMs and I just said, mate, if you're not going to say something that you wouldn't say to my face, don't say it. Then he proceeded to tell me that he was going to say it to my face next time I saw him. And I said, mate, see how that goes for you. It would go well. But
them fighting words from you.
Well, from him. Well, you can't say that, mate.
But did he? So he actually did he have? Or was he identifiable online? Was he?
Yeah. No, he's none.
Okay.
Yeah, which is fair enough. But fair enough, have your opinion, but you can't call people that, mate. I'm a bit loose with my words, and I say this and that. And I'm happy to have a bit of a banter on social media. You can't call someone that. You would never, ever call anyone that to their face.
No,
unless you want to get smacked. And I don't fight anybody. I've never fought anyone in my life.
Yeah, no.
But if you walked up to anybody in life and said that to their face, I reckon you could expect something back. And you're not going to do it. That's the point. No one's going to do that. Anyway, so don't be a hero on social media. Just have your opinions. It's all good. Just have a laugh. Skeeter will come at you and call you Elon Musk.
Well, that was pretty tame, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was bloody hilarious. All right, that's us, Skeeter. We are done. We are done. Goodness gracious me, I'm getting some emails through now about our big move. I think we'll be moved by next week, Skeeter. We'll be in here last session here on Thursday, and they'll be in our new studios. But I've just seen this email. It's just come in about 13 minutes ago. We have just had a delay. Be on site tomorrow, so hopefully that gets fixed up in the meantime.
Okay, I'm off social media for a while. I'm going to take a spell.
You shouldn't be.
Oh, yeah. I just think you're the fighter. I'm the lover. That's where we work well together.
All right, Skate, we're done. Well done.